Kaizer Chiefs are conceding a lot of goals, and I mean a lot. 23 to be exact. And in this video, we're not talking about who sucks and they should be fired. No. We're actually going to look at the 5 ways that Kaizer Chiefs can improve their defense. And I think that you'll agree with me mostly when I get to number 5. So stay tuned. Hello and welcome to Khosi Nation Fan TV. I'm Bilo, I'm your host, and this is where fans meet and talk about Kaizer Chiefs. I'm a Khosi Football Club. So the first and most important thing that we get it wrong as Chiefs is the fact that we rush certain things. We rush playing the ball forward, and in doing that, by default, what's going to happen is we're going to lose the ball. There are a lot of turnovers, and now we have to defend. And usually, since we are rushing to get forward, you'll find that the fullback has pushed forward. You'll find that one of the midfielders has gone forward to support or be alongside the striker. And now we're just all over. The center midfielders are also moving forward to try and support. But then what happens? There's a turnover, the ball is played wide, so now we're chasing back, we're defending facing our own goal. And that usually means just panic stations. Look at how many goals we've conceded facing our own net. Look at how many goals we've conceded because there was a turnover in position. Look at how many goals we've conceded because someone was not in their position. Right? Those are big problems. And I've always said this. Kaizer Chiefs have Thabo Cele now, but he can't play on his own. We now need to have players around him. We need to overload those areas where the ball is. You can't have Cele here on his own, and then you have Mart hiding behind there to not receive the ball. And then you have Frosler, instead of coming into support, he's also trying to rush and give us width. Whoa. I see progress any baller. Yes, you can still give us width in the central areas, like be here wide, and then the other midfielders are around you. So there's like 4 of you. And then as we move and we beat the press centrally, now we progress the ball further. Now you can give us with Frosler in the final third, and then we can try and find you. But we're moving the ball like this. One thing I envy about Pirates a lot these days is how they are scoring these goals where they combined. The pass is played from Fukeng, even Makaula plays one touch, then the ball is touched maybe by Hoto, then Umabasa, then the ball is behind Van Rooyen, plays a cross, and then Umabasa finishes a tap in. Why? Because they are close to each other and the spaces between them is much shorter. But Tina, Omunyule, so whichever pass that we're playing seems risky, and it is because we get a lot of overturns. Number 2. We need to decide what we want to do with that double pivot. Yes, we're playing with 2 6s. Some people say 2 8s, but it's actually just 2 6s. And then the other one becomes an 8 because it's basically a box-to-box midfielder. Now, we need to be strict with that because right now it seems like they interchange. Sometimes this one goes forward and then this one stays. And then sometimes this one stays and then the other one goes forward. But the problem with that is sometimes players just switch off and they both move forward. And you know what happens? You are now leaving the defense without anyone protecting them. So we need, even though we are not assigning that we're playing 1-6 and we're playing a 4-3-3, even if it's still 2 of them, because I get why you need 2 of them. When we're peeling out from the back, you need your 6s to go and support and give more options as we are trying to move the ball forward. But the moment we beat the first line of pressure and now we're moving beyond the second, third, and we're moving to the final third, now we need to have someone who's going to stay and protect the defense. And this is what Umthetwa was doing very well. But the problem is he then doesn't help us when we're trying to build the ball from the back. It's the same thing with Umart. He could help us with the defensive part of the game. But when it comes to, okay, let's build out from the back, he's not going to be helpful because he's not asking for the ball enough. So that is a problem. So let's try Ublom Nocele. I know this seems like an agenda, but those players are both comfortable in receiving the ball and progressing it forward. But at the same time, if Ucele does move forward, because we see that we are tungi bola epambili, if Uzublom is staying, he's very good. We know he's a very good anchor. If somehow we decide that Ucele is the one who stays and then Ublom is the one who is going to basically tunga the ball and make sure that it progresses forward, then so be it. But let's not have them all go forward. Who's protecting the defense? You get me? Number 3, if you're enjoying the video, by the way, please do make sure to like the video if you are already subscribed, and subscribe if you are new. We're trying to reach 50,000 subscribers before the end of March. So please do make sure to help us get there. Number 3, we need to sort out the fullback situation. So I'm not saying in terms of playing personnel, but in terms of them understanding that if I am Bradley Cross and I'm playing as a left back, I see Riff Frosler overlapping, I can't move forward. This is what made Utitloko so special, because that's one thing that he was very capable of doing. He didn't even bother to go forward. I think that was also an instruction that, listen here, you will go forward if you see that the left winger needs your support. But for the most cases, you are just part of a back three. And that made it easier for Frosler to say, okay, I know that there is a back three at the back, so I can go forward and do whatever I want. Even when it was Blom, it was the same thing. They know that there is already a back three there at the back, so we're not worried, we're going to go forward. But right now, if you have Mashiane and you have Frosler, very good footballers technically going forward, but now you need them to track back. They are not the quickest when it comes to recovering. They are not like Solomons who can go forward and at the same move, when the team loses the ball, he's then able to track back and recover. They are not the same. So these ones now need to be very disciplined and very aware of what's happening. He's going forward, so I'm staying. Which brings us to the fourth thing. And I don't know how many people will agree with me here, because this is a bit more technical. And I will preface it by saying this. I understand that different matches require different strategies, right? Depending on how teams are playing. But universally, there are two systems that are the most effective in pressing, and that is the 4-4-2 and the 4-2-4. And the reason why these systems are very effective is because if you are pressing with the 4-4-2, the two people up front are doing two jobs. Number one, they are blocking passes into midfield. But at the same time, in their press, they are pressing in such a way that they are forcing you to go wide, right? And in them forcing you to go wide, if the team wants you to go wide, then the wide midfielder can then jump on you, and then the central midfielder could join them, and then one of the strikers as well will join them, and then you have now a three, and you are cornering one player into that corner. 4-2-4, it's almost the same thing. The person who's wider, the first two who are in central position in that 4-2-4 are going to force you to go wide, and then we all go to you wide. It's two people applying pressure, so it's harder to just find a pass here. But against SuperSport and in another game, I forgot which game this was, I think even against Pirates, there was a 4-2-3-1 press. And the biggest weakness of that is that the person initiating the press is just one person, which means if I go to the keeper, he just passes the ball there. And then I have to press him and try on my own to force you to go wide so that we can all try and attack you, which is a bit of a problem, because one person pressing is not better than two people forcing a certain thing to happen. Because now, if we're pressing with the 4-2-3-1, we're trying to also be compact in midfield, because as you saw against SuperSport, then we're pushing Lilepo into midfield to basically say, if they come here centrally, we are there, we're going to press them. But teams like Cabo SuperSport, they then just play wide. You do that against Sundowns, they just play the ball they will just make a long switch to Ribeiro. Now he's isolated 1v1 with our left back. If that's not the case, they switch the ball that side. Now it's Reyners versus our right back. Now it's pace. We have problems. So we need to really be very, very intentional with our press and just keep one press. I know Guti, we have to adapt, but you can adapt even that same system and change it depending on a match scenario, obviously. Which brings us to number 5. Number 5 is obviously we need to fix the communication at the back. How many times have we talked about Vuma should have come out, or you're watching a game and Vuma is being called by everyone in the stadium, come out, the defender is trying to hold the striker back and Vuma is still in his goal line. Why are you not able to read what your teammates are doing? And also, why are you not communicating in time? Why are you like calling an audible good, oh, I'm going to kick this ball out, but wait a second, let me protect it. Hey, Vuma, come. Those things, they should be rehearsing them as well. Guti, this is how I protect the ball. This is the signal I will give if I'm going to try and protect the ball. This is what I will do if I'm going to clear the ball. I mean, there was a video, like go check the video, the previous match analysis, where I was talking about when this was even a goal kick. This was not even a defensive move. It wasn't a goal kick. Vuma hit the ball, and then you have Vuma pointing at Inacio, pass the ball to Inacio. He's free. What did Vuma do? He kicks the ball long. So even if there is communication, it seems like they are just ignoring it for whatever reason. So we need that to be much better in the team. And also the defense, they are not well organized. You will find Frosler there. And then instead of him as a right back looking at Inacio, who's then looking at Dot, who's then looking at Cross, and they're making the same line. Like players are supposed to stand something like this and stand on a half turn, but Bona, they're always standing flat like this. So now when the ball is passed this way, they have to turn all the way around. But you look at big teams when they're defending, they don't stand straight. They will stand on a side or in such a way that if the ball is played like this, then they're able to go. But if the ball is coming straight, they're able to attack it also. But our teams like Omuyu Pegele, Nomuyu Pegele, Nomuyu Pegele, there isn't any like a seamlessness in their defending. It's just like Omuyu is trying to step up, Omuyu is trying to stay. Because if we're stepping up, let's all step up. Because it's pointless for me to step up only for the person that I'm stepping up to play a back heel. And then since the partner of mine is far away from me, then there's a runner who just goes in. You do that against teams like Sundowns. Ripero will just flick the ball, and then the next thing you know, Shalulile is 1v1 with the keeper. You don't want that. You don't want that. Our communication needs to be much better. And the Giants last played the game last week, Tuesday. So I hope they've been working on these things. But what do you guys want to see improve in the team? Remember, we're trying to reach 50,000 subscribers. So do that. Subscribe if you haven't, like the video, and let us know what your thoughts are on the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, remember, equals Alpelumoy.